Hey guys, I'm so geeked. I be getting geeked about the word of God, okay? Geeked. I thought that the fruit of the spirit, I'm gonna have to look in this Bible in the NIV because this Bible is shredded and I can't find the fruit of the spirit, but I'm gonna find it for y'all. Um but I wanted to read Galatians 1 because, we've been talking about Paul, talking about before he became Paul, when he was Saul. And here in Galatians 1, starting at verse 11, he's talking about how Jesus is the one that gave him the good news to spread. It wasn't the apostles, it wasn't nobody else, it was Jesus himself. And I told y'all, Jesus met Saul on the road to Damascus and was like, bust down. Why you persecuting me? Why you messing with my children? Bust down. I'm about to show you who I am. Okay, so it says, starting at verse 11, I want you to know, brothers and sisters, that the good news I have spread is not a human message. I didn't receive it from any person. I wasn't taught it, but Jesus Christ revealed it to me. You heard about the way I once lived when I followed the Jewish religion. You heard how I violently persecuted God's church and tried to destroy it. This is Paul talking. You also heard how I was far ahead of other Jews in my age group in the following of Jewish religion. I have become that fanatical for the traditions of my ancestors. But God, who appointed me before I was born, come on, Paul. He said he appointed him before he was born, and who called me by his kindness was pleased. Paul said God was pleased, okay, to show him his son. Paul said God was pleased. Hold on, I'm going to read it again. But God, who appointed me before I was born and who called me by his kindness, was pleased to show me his son. Sorry for stumbling over my words. He did this so that I would tell people who are not Jewish that his son is the good news. When this happened, I didn't talk it over with any other person. I didn't even go to Jerusalem to see those who were apostles before I was. Instead, I went to Arabia, and then came back to Damascus. Then 3 years later, he said, 3 years later, I went to Jerusalem to become personally acquainted with Cephas. I stayed with him for 15 days. I didn't see any other apostle. I only saw James, the Lord's brother. So Paul is saying he didn't see no other apostles. He only saw James, Jesus' brother. God is my witness that I'm writing this is not a lie. Then I went to the regions of Syria and Cilicia. The churches of Christ in Judea didn't know me personally. The only thing they had heard was this: the man who persecuted us is now spreading faith that he once tried to destroy. I'm going to read that again. The only thing that they had heard was this: the man who persecuted us is now spreading the faith that he once tried to destroy. So they praised God for what had happened to me. Paul was like, let me tell you something. This what I got, Yeshua gave it to me. He downloaded that into me. He met me on the road to Damascus. He showed himself unto me. And he told me who he was. I didn't have to go to nobody. I didn't have to get anointed or appointed by nobody, because God himself through his son told me who he was and about his good news, which was Jesus Christ. And this is why I became so zealous for the word of God. Paul said, let me tell you something. I'm going to run it down for you. I read this earlier. I said, oh, they got to get this. They got to get this. Yes, Paul. Paul said, I'm going to tell you something. Because remember, I told y'all, God said that he was going to make, when Ananias was like, nah, Lord, I don't want to have nothing to do with him. He running around here unalignment, people. I don't want to have nothing to do with this. And God said, I'm going to use Paul. He will suffer the same way my son suffered. Paul said, let me tell you something. He said, I want you to know, brothers and sisters, that the good news that I have spread is not a human message. I didn't receive it from any person. I wasn't taught it, but Jesus Christ revealed it unto me. Have a blessed day, guys.